understand that this is LGFG celebrating Zakk's success, or rather Zakk celebrating Zakk's success wearing LGFG. So they happen to need a bespoke suit for Zakk because he doesn't have a lot of fancy formal suits.
And so putting these passionate outfits together for a stoic guy,
I love the slight sense of irony that it creates, and I think Zakk pulls it off amazingly well.
What's going on, gang? This is Zakk Wylde, and this is LGFG.
It's absolutely incredible!
So Zakk was not a referral. He had replied to a message from us. Well, his wife replied to a message from us, in fact. I guess she saw a little bit of our work with Alice Cooper. And there was a good connection there because Alice has a manager named Shep Gordon, and Barbara Ann Wylde had worked a little bit with Shep Gordon before, so they knew each other. So we had social proof. And we're a bespoke suit company coming and saying, hey, we'd like to make you some bespoke suits. So it was a little bit of an outlier to get Zakk into a bespoke suit. And then also the timing worked out because Zakk and Barbara Ann had a son getting married. So son's getting married. So they happen to need a bespoke suit for Zakk because he doesn't have a lot of sort of fancy formal suits. So we got in with Zakk, and that was a great experience for me. And for him, I hope, too. So we did a suit for Zakk Wylde, and the stripe says Black Label Society. Zakk had one request for like all of his garments. He wanted Black Label Society on everything. Okay, let's go. So we'll start with one of these. This looks like a gray stripe suit.
Yeah.
But if you look really closely, the stripes spell out Black Label Society.
Oh, cool.
Instead of being a pinstripe.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
So we kind of
And they see the inside lining?
Oh,
The color is that.
And then you got the colors. That's
great.
Awesome.
But for me, there's a piece de la resistance on this particular outfit, and those are the camo hand-painted patina shoes. Check out those shoes. You'll never see Zakk Wylde dressed with shoes that elegant ever again because he's a rock star, and these are rock star elegant shoes. Feels good?
Yeah.
Feels like it was made for you?
Totally.
Custom made for sure.
I like the shoes. I don't know how you feel about those shoes. They might be a little bit too out there, but they're...
Yeah.
They're
I mean,
like
the camo, yeah, it looks great with this.
Totally
Matches
rad.
it great.
It's really good.
Shoes are
too.
comfy too, man. Very comfortable. Great.
First of all, to wear a double-breasted chalk stripe suit is not easy. It takes a certain kind of build to be able to put it off. Again, you can check our Michael Franzese book to see what kind of body shapes can pull off, first of all, a chalk stripe, and then secondly, a double-breasted suit, and combining them together sort of reduces the audience for a suit like this, the audience that can wear a suit like this, right? Zakk pulls it off beautifully. I like the showmanship of this suit. I like the audacity of the suit, and I especially like it on Zakk Wylde, who's generally a more understated man.
Would you want to hang out with a guy like this?
I love that snipe.
Thank you. So you made it happen.
You're going to get confused for ZZ Top. Be careful. So this is a really a rock star look, because you have a double-breasted chalk stripe, of course, with the skull insignia for Black Label Society, and then you're matching it with a hiking boot, actually, that's constructed in a patina hand-painted style. So let's go. Well, if we're going to work with Zakk Wylde, we might as well go monochromatic, right? So black and white, that's basically the Black Label Society colors. And again, we match this with a bespoke hiking boot. So there's very, very few people that can pull that off, but it's very on brand for Zakk to have the boot with the, with the elegant trouser, of course, on the suit. But again, not a look you're going to see a lot on Zakk Wylde, wearing a black suit with a white shirt. Like, this is a guy that you're almost never going to see in a suit, let alone something that's a lot more formal like this. And I think if you're just a regular guy like myself, if you're just living in the civilian life, you're not traveling on a private jet to rock shows, whatever, this is a look you're going to have a lot of in your life, just having a nice solid black suit with a crisp white shirt. So we're kind of bringing Zakk into our realm here, into the world of normalcy, if just for 1 second. This is lamb wool, so very soft. Lambskin is some of the best leather to work with on coats. So here we have a knee length, just cut right above the knee, raincoat cut leather coat, beautifully slanted, oversized pockets on the sides as well. So really there's some idiosyncratic details here that demarcate this from a regular leather coat. This is not one you'll find in a retail store because the details are exaggerated on purpose, obviously with the Black Label Society insignia. So this is a very rock and roll look.
Do you do a lot of work with leather?
Lately, yes. Like very recent.
Since
Like
you've been working with all the rock
we
stars?
literally just acquired a leather shop like 6 months. 6 months ago, we acquired a leather shop because, funny enough, like Jordan Peterson just came to me because I've done a lot of suits for him. You know, the psychologist guy, and he came to me and he's like, "Hey, I want some leather stuff." But the demand for leather for us does come from some clients. It also comes from some more famous people like Eddie Hall. You know, we did a beautiful leather coat for Eddie, and then his friend Brian Shaw had like a matching bomber. And then, of course, for Zakk, there was that sort of necessity to delve into leather because Zakk is a leather kind of guy, right? Guys, if you're enjoying this, I implore you to subscribe to this channel. You can get really cool stories about our work with global celebrities like Michael Franzese, like Ozzy Osbourne, like Alice Cooper, like Phil Heath, like Ronnie Coleman, like Jordan Peterson. You can get a lot of cool information about their clothing and their suits and how we design them and what they wear right here on this channel. Please give us a follow. Yeah, so again, this is all just very much part of Zakk's brand. He wanted some vests and some leather vests with, you know, and he'll play a show like wearing a vest and nothing else. So he kind of, and it, you know, it's nice for a guitar player to have range of movement when you're on stage, and of course the vest allows for that if you're not wearing a shirt with a high cut armhole, let's say, or no armhole in this case. So it makes a lot of sense again for Rockstar, like, you know, like those kind of things. You think you're cool, or you dress up like Terminator, right? You put the leather vest on, you put the sunglasses, and you feel like you're the Terminator.
I'll be back.
But for rock stars, a leather vest is not a piece that you use exclusively for costuming. It's something you actually wear because it's who you are. So leather vest, I don't think we'll ever sell any of these to any of our clients, but we do have the capacity to make them. And here we have a leather vest with the Black Label Society insignia. It's a biker jacket. See, the thing about biker jackets that separates them from other types of leather jackets is they're tighter fit, they have a higher armhole, they have a slimmer sleeve. Biker jackets are an amazing piece in your wardrobe for a younger guy on a casual outing, like you, especially if you've kept in good shape. So here you see that biker jacket accentuating Zakk's physique. Again, the higher armhole, slimmer sleeve, kind of a tighter and more rounded cut that sort of hugs the body. That's what you get with a biker jacket. The lapel on this is actually a shawl lapel that goes all the way down. This jacket can be buttoned up, and then of course the front of the lapel flips forward, giving it a little bit more of that austere kind of a look, a little bit more, a little added touch of elegance. So it's not a traditional biker jacket. It has a little bit of a feature that demarcates it as a bespoke piece. So another defining feature of LGFG as a brand, of course, everybody knows the story. We've told it a trillion times, is the Jordan Peterson Heaven and Hell suit, right? So having that sort of one side, other side suit, the kind of a bifurcated garment that has, a different color on each panel has become something known to the LGFG brand. It's not something we really sell a lot of, obviously, because it's just such a, again, noticeable garment. And most men, when they're buying clothing, they're not buying things that are noticeable. They're buying things that don't get their necks stuck out, right? However, this is something that our brands become associated with because we had so much success with that Heaven and Hell coat. So this is the bi-color, bifurcated, monochromatic, black on white jacket for Zakk Wylde. Why black on white? Because those are the Black Label Society colors. This is for award shows and celebrations. And so if you see Zakk Wylde wearing his bifurcated monochromatic jacket, understand that this is LGFG celebrating Zakk's success, or rather Zakk celebrating Zakk's success wearing LGFG. Purple is a suit that you wear just like a brown, meaning that it would be worn in the same kind of situations as a brown suit, because purple falls, even though it's not technically an earth tone, it falls under the earth tone category of color matching, which means you don't wear it with white, but it goes beautifully with blue and with cream, obviously with different sort of pastel shades of pink. Any pastel with purple is absolutely amazing. And here we have Zakk matching it with a blue shirt, okay? You would never think that Zakk Wylde put a purple suit on, but the elegance of this suit speaks for itself. And by the way, notice how we matched it with a hand-painted patina monk strap shoe. This is a very formal shoe and a particularly beautiful finish because of the hand-painted patina. You can see some of the streaks there from the brush. This is a work of art. This outfit is a work of art. You know what's interesting? So orange is not the audacious color people think it is. And there are studies done on luxury and what colors people attribute to luxury. The number one color is black. The second color most associated with luxury is orange. And so here we have Zakk Wylde in an orange suit. So again, wild, yes, but also very much in line with luxury. And one thing I love about Zakk is, I don't know, like, he's actually super funny. He's got a really, like, a very sharp sense of humor. He's a witty guy. But his demeanor is quite serious, right? And so when you see him in this sort of a bright orange color, and then he still has that serious Viking, I'm about to conquer demeanor, right?
That's beautiful.
That's gorgeous.
Great.
Yeah, that was fun.
I love the lines to the color, to the lacquer. Right. It almost looks like a vinyl record. That's what it looks like.
That's actually what we were trying, kind of something that reminds us of a gramophone in a way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny that you say that because we thought of that.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. This is a club suit, so you have the brown check overlaying a shadow check. Very subtle pattern. I think that Zakk and Barbara Ann also discussed wearing that suit for his son's wedding. Yeah, so that's more of a...
Oh, very cool.
That is
Handkerchief.
gorgeous.
Awesome.
That would work well for a wedding. I mean, it's a very classic...
I mean, it's hysterical because my son is wearing a dark chocolate brown.
So this is a gentleman's suit. This is not a young man's suit, right? And being, I guess, I hate saying this, being a middle-aged man myself, you know, this is a suit that's obviously a little bit more elegant and reflective of one's wisdom, gained wisdom, of one's accumulated wisdom, right? This is a suit that you would wear with a solid shirt, blue or cream. Again, it's an earth tone, being that it's a brown shade, therefore you don't wear it with a white shirt. And it's elegant nonetheless. It does have the, Black Label Society markings, but check out the inside lining of the suit. It's got the guitars for Zakk Wylde. This is a suit that I hope that Zakk will get a lot of utility out of because it's so useful across a broad spectrum of events from... This is a suit we also did for Alice. If you actually notice the pattern, you'll recognize it. When he talks about his handmade bespoke suit, he says, this is the best suit I ever had. We can put that clip up.
This feels like I was born in it. I mean, it just hangs perfectly.
Guys.
Out of all the suits, this one just goes, oh, I am you.
Think about handmade. It's amazing. The shadow stripe is a self-stripe, meaning that the fabric itself does not have a second fabric woven into it. It's just got a little bit of a raised weave from line to line, let's say vertically. Vertically, the lines are raised at different levels, so it creates this effect of having a stripe that's a self-stripe or a shadow stripe. So the stripe is a shadow of itself. Wide peak lapel shadow stripe.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, I love that.
You see that little subtle stripe?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And again, we're doing the label on this one, so.
Zakk, do you see the subtle stripe in the suit?
What is it, babe?
The fabric, the stripe in it.
Oh, it's nice, man.
That's
Oh,
gorgeous.
beautiful.
Called the shadow stripe. So depending on how you stand in the light, it's going to show or not show. So.
Gorgeous.
Very elegant suit. Again, matching with our hand-painted patina shoe there. Again, a beautiful shoe. The suit is beaming with elegance. This is a suit that every man should own, absolutely, especially if you already have your classic black solid suit. It's a really good idea to add a second black suit with a little bit of a twist. One thing that makes this suit different, ironically, is it doesn't have the Black Label Society insignia on the outside. So this is really just a classic black suit. Again, if your name is Zakk Wylde and you play in Zakk Sabbath, the suits you own are going to be pretty black. So we have the Dooming Crew, the inside of the jacket there, so a little bit of a different look from Black Label Society, but obviously all on point for Zakk. Hey, are you noticing a pattern with Zakk's suits that everything is black and some things have a little bit of white? Like we had the double-breasted chalk stripe and now we have the single-breasted pinstripe. Yes, guys, once again, of all the celebrities we designed for, when you have the range from like from audacious to inconspicuous, right? The one wardrobe that leans most towards all the suits look kind of the same as Zakk Wylde. And it's not by chance, right? That's by design, okay? Zakk's colors are black and white. It's monochromatic. Unless he's wearing a kilt. We'll get to that too. So here, I'm going to shock you guys right now. Here's Zakk wearing a black suit with a white pinstripe. Shocking, right? So we've now gone from black to shadow stripe, black on black, to black with a white chalk stripe, to black with a white pinstripe. How exciting. Again, we just wanted to expand and do something a little bit more dramatic here. The red shirt is not something that you would wear like to a business meeting, but it's a really cool shirt when you're going with a black suit. It's a complete juxtaposition. It's a complete combustion of colors. The black and red are together very striking, right? Like they are very passionate when they blend, when they're used together in a look. So this is a look of, you can almost see like Antonio Banderas wearing a black suit with a red shirt, right? So this is a very passionate outfit. And I think Zakk pulls it off amazingly well. Zakk can be very intentionally funny, but he can also be unintentionally funny. Like to me, there's a little bit of humor when I see Zakk in these passionate colors. I hope the audience sees it too. Again, this is funny to me. So this is a floral, but it looks like a leopard print, doesn't it? Like if you look at it far away a little bit, it looks like a leopard print. It's actually a floral. It's got leaves on it. It's a short sleeve floral print Hawaiian style shirt. When you think of Zakk Wylde, like having a chance to converse with him and spend a little bit of time with him, I would say the word that describes him best is disciplined. Like, and you can tell that too. Look at the veins sticking out from under that. Like that is a dude that lifts, you know? Man, he's jacked. And this shirt shows it off. Again, this is sort of in line with what we did for Eddie Hall when we did this like funny beach outfit for him. And he looked amazing and he still wears it in some of his photos like on social media. And so this is, again, a Zakk like you may have not seen him before. If you're not around him, if you're a fan, you're not going to see a lot of Zakk Wylde in a floral print, Cuban collar, short sleeve shirt. All right. Does LGFG make kilts? The answer actually, surprisingly, is yes. In the sagacity of our production manager who runs our production, acquired a kilt company, like literally in Scotland, right? And these are like legitimately Scottish-made kilts. This is not some like buy it online, ready-made. This is like custom-made, leather straps, beautiful. Everything is so intricate. The fabrics are so heavy and robust. Like true tartan patterns, right? Really like woven in Scotland. Like this is legit stuff. So I was very proud to learn that about our own company when this came up, because it let us deliver kilts with real authenticity. And I really read up the story of the fabric weave and the story of the mill, the story of when we actually acquired this company, that it's been around a very long time. It's one of the few last remaining like traditional kilt makers, because, you know, a lot of the kilt stuff has kind of gone online and people can buy it a less expensive version. You know, everything kind of becomes bastardized with mass production. There's all these IKEA kilts now, right? And this is not that. This is handmade. This is the real stuff. So Zakk loved it. We ended up making a green tartan, a purple tartan, I think a black and white tartan as well. I'll tell you what came out of the experience with Zakk Wylde. I was surprised for a couple of things. Number one, how relatable Zakk is. Like when you engage him in conversation, this is a guy that clearly spends a lot of time thinking. And you can tell when a guy spends a lot of time thinking is when you engage in conversation about a topic, they have insights about that topic immediately. Like, and not for the sake of just sharing and trying to feel like they have something to contribute. No, like literally the thoughts have little nuances and, you know, little dents in them. Like like he's been chiseling those thoughts, right? So I like to ask people, successful people, like I've done this with Rob Schneider. I've done this with Alice. I've done this with Lennox Lewis. I've done this with Eddie. I like to ask like very successful people about their outlook on life and success and sort of abundance. And a lot of these guys, you know, they've been in it for so long that these are very natural. Like when you ask them about success, they don't refer to that as principle. They just kind of say their experience, which we can sort of derive the principle out of, right? We can sort of strain the principle out of it, use our sieve, you know? With Zakk, it was the answers that he gave were not native answers. They were ones he had thought about. Like he talked about discipline. He talked about, you know, what it's like to work in conjunction with a team, in collaboration with a team, what everybody needs to bring and how they need to bring it. This is a profoundly intelligent man, and also one I wish would give more interviews on these topics, because we could actually learn a lot from Zakk. Like, he conducts himself in a way that truly optimizes for creating order in every area of his life. Like, really, I found that very unique about him.